Hello and welcome to Lesson 1, Your Secret Genie. I'm M Jenkins. Now, John Milton wrote, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, hell of heaven." Now, that's probably worth reading one more time. He said, "The mind is its own place, and in itself can make a heaven of hell, a hell of heaven." You know, no one knows or can even guess at the millions of people that are living in a virtual heaven of opportunity every aspect of their lives, yet they often turn it into some type of living hell. They have every opportunity to love, and yet they will hate. They have every opportunity to trust, and yet they mistrust. They have every opportunity to go to work and give of themselves, but they're going to hold it back with suspicion, believing that perhaps they're being cheated in some way. They have every opportunity to share in the wealth and abundance available in this world, yet they sit around and moan because it's not given to them for being lazy and ignorant. They remain ignorant even though they're completely surrounded with a free and abundant opportunity to learn to their full capacities. You know, the public libraries in every town, every city, sit half empty all the time, in vain, waiting for people to enter and learn. The schools, teachers, parents, we beg our children to stay in school in hopes of getting them ready for a fast-paced, ever-changing world, but they drop out. In every walk of life, in every part of our society, you can see bitter, unhappy expressions, sad eyes, listless hands of those whose minds have trapped them into an unfulfilled life of lack and limitation. Everything created by mankind is a result of an image that was first formed in that person's mind. So what is your mind really? You know, a Pulitzer Prize-winning author, Archibald MacLeish, once wrote, "You know, anything about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else you can find in a pig or a horse." Now, that might be uncomfortably true, but the human mind is the one thing that separates us from all the rest of the little creatures on this earth. Everything in this world that has any importance to us comes to us through our minds. Our love of our families, our beliefs, all of our talents, knowledge, abilities, everything is reflected through our minds. Anything that comes to us in the future will almost certainly come to us as a result of the extent to which we use our minds. And yet, it's the last place on earth that the average person will turn to for help. Knowing these truths caused me to look for as much information as possible on the mind, which led me to Bob Proctor. Now, you may know Bob Proctor from the phenomenally successful movie, The Secret. I think it's reached something like 500 million people by now. Now, the information that Bob shared with me was taught to Bob some 50 years ago by a very important mentor of his, but was actually originated back in 1934 by a doctor from San Antonio, Texas. Now, his name was Dr. Thurman Fleet. Now, Dr. Fleet was highly aware that to be able to treat his patients' illnesses, he really needed to treat the entire person, starting with the mind. Now, he understood that his patients' physical ailments were a symptom to the problem, and that the real cause of the problem was in the mind. One of the greatest discoveries that Dr. Fleet made was that we actually think in pictures. Let's test that for a moment. Let me ask you to think of the front door to your home. And you'll notice that a picture came on the screen of your mind of the front door. Now, think of a friend or a family or perhaps someone you haven't seen in a while, and you'll find that a picture of that person came on the screen of your mind as well. Now, I could continue to suggest other things. People, places, and as I say the word, corresponding pictures will appear on the screen of your mind. Now, what if I were to say your mind? What image do you get? You know, this is generally when some people in my seminars start to look a little confused. You see, you may not have a picture at all, or if you're like most people, you probably received a picture of your brain. But it's important to realize that your brain is a wonderful, magnificent switching station. It's a storage facility. But mind is actually an activity. In fact, it's found in every cell of your body. You see, mind is no more your brain than your elbow or your knee is. And since we didn't have a picture of the mind, well, Dr. Fleet created one, and here it is. And he referred to it as the stick person. Now, it may seem simple at first, but it's truly a phenomenal tool for understanding the mind and what causes the results in our lives. It'll also explain the law of attraction, and why we don't necessarily receive what we hope for. So let's let the top circle represent the mind and the bottom portion represent the body. Now, the interesting thing here is that the mind is much larger than the body. And, you know, he did that on purpose. Because we usually give all our conscious awareness, all of our attention to our physical body, and therefore our physical results. when really everything in our life is nothing but an expression of our mind, and our body merely carries out those actions. Now, our mind is made up of two distinct parts. One that gathers information, and we call that the conscious mind. The second is the part that controls our behavior, which of course produces our results, and we call this the subconscious mind. Your conscious mind is the part of you that thinks, reasons. Your free will lies there. This is the part of you, your part of your mind, that will decide how much money you make, what relationships you have, how you look physically. The conscious mind has the ability to accept or reject any idea. You see, no person or circumstances in life can cause you to think about thoughts or ideas you don't choose. And the thoughts that you choose will eventually determine the results you're going to get in life. All pain, pleasure, or limitation is either originated in the conscious mind or accepted unconditionally from an outside source. As you accept the thought, it gets impressed upon the second part of your personality, which, as I mentioned, is your subconscious mind. Now, your subconscious mind is the part of you that certainly is the most magnificent. It's truly your power center, often referred to as the secret genie within. Every thought your conscious mind chooses to accept, this part of you, your subconscious mind, must accept. It has absolutely no ability to reject the information. This part of you operates in an orderly manner, which is referred to as law. The greatest question today in the world of thought is whether an individual has the capacity, the equipment, and the power to control their life. Whether they can be what they want to be, or whether they are simply a drop in this great expanse that we refer to as life. Now, understanding these concepts will bring you to clarity in understanding the awareness that you're seeking. So make sure that you study this as often as you can. Now, the subconscious mind functions in every cell of your body. Every thought your conscious mind chooses to accept, your subconscious mind must accept. It has absolutely no ability to reject. Now, your subconscious mind is your emotional mind. You'll find that if you're upset or you're not feeling well, you know there's something going on in your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind expresses itself through you in feelings, behaviors, and actions. Any thought or idea you consciously choose to impress upon the subconscious mind, if you do it over and over again, it becomes fixed in that part of your personality. Now, fixed ideas will then continue to express themselves without any conscious assistance. These fixed ideas are more commonly referred to as habits, and a collection of habits or a multitude of habits are referred to as the conditioned mind or as a paradigm, which you're going to learn more about in the next lesson. This conditioning will explain any habitual behavior you may have. The subconscious mind is frequently referred to as the spiritual side of your personality or the universal mind. The subconscious mind knows no limits except those you consciously choose. Although the body is the most obvious part of you, often referred to as the material medium, it is simply the instrument of the mind or the home you live in. Thoughts or images that are consciously chosen, pressed upon the subconscious mind, which is in every cell of your body, must move your body into action. It's these actions that will determine your results. So if the conscious mind has the power to either accept or reject any thought or idea that presents itself, the question here would be, if we have that choice, why not think big? Why not choose an exciting picture of everything that we want in our lives? Unfortunately, many tend to build a picture of all the things that they don't want, or all the reasons why, well, something isn't going to work out, and therefore attracting negative outcomes into their lives. We can take the very worst of situations and choose to think something constructive about it, or we can take the very best of situations and choose to think something destructive about it. Now, let's take another look at the stick person. The thoughts that we choose to accept, whether they're productive or non-productive, are then impressed upon the subconscious mind, and they dictate the way we feel. So it's these feelings that are expressed through our body with actions. And by law, those actions have to be expressed by a reaction, which is something that we call results. So it's the results that we want to change in our lives, but if you want to change the results, you have to change the thoughts that you're choosing. You're going to have to take conscious control of what it is that you're thinking about. So you see, everything in our life is nothing but an expression of our mind. If you want to know what you're thinking about, take a look at your results. Results don't lie. You notice that the people around you that are always complaining and worrying, criticizing, they're never your top performers. In fact, they're probably really miserable. So if we're talking about changing our result, we must first start by changing the thoughts that we're choosing. James Allen wrote, "People are anxious to improve their circumstances, but unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound." To change what is going on outside of you, our results, we must change what's going on inside of us, our thoughts. The interesting thing here is that most people know exactly what to do to get better results. However, their subconscious mind, their feeling mind, prevents them from taking the necessary actions to achieve the results that they want. The biggest gap in life is between that which we know and that which we actually do. So it's critical. It's absolutely critical to understand that our current results are not a reflection of our potential. Our current results are nothing but a reflection of our previous thinking. Our potential is actually infinite. It's our thinking that limits us, but possibilities are truly endless. Mark 11:24 says, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." This is a spiritual universe that you and I are part of, and as I said earlier, it operates by law. Law is the uniform and orderly method of an omnipotent source. Spirit never expresses itself other than perfectly. The imperfections that we experience is a result of our individual or collective ways of thinking, a paradigm. You are a spiritual being, and therefore you have been given an incredible gift, which is the unique ability to think. Therefore, your source of supply is truly infinite. Thought is everything, and your ability to originate thought and mentally move that thought into form is your guarantee of an abundant life. See, everything you can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch is the manifestation of a non-physical power, which is spirit. Spirit is 100% present in all places at all times. All the knowledge that ever was or ever will be is also 100% evenly present in all places all the time. Likewise, all power is omnipresent. As a spiritual being, you have access to everything you will ever want or need to live the life you choose. Your degree of awareness of this beautiful truth will manifest those results into your life. Now, U.S. Anderson said, "Nothing is impossible to the mind." All this guidance and power is available to you. When you have fully realized thought causes all, you will know there will never be any limits that you don't impose upon yourself. Do you ever wonder why some people seem to always attract negative situations in their lives? Maybe it's you. While others seem to attract nothing but phenomenal situations into their lives? I ask myself those questions, which caused me to start studying the law of attraction. Now, I learned that you truly are a creative magnet. You have the ability to control whatever you attract into your life. This law states that you will attract to you that which you are in harmony with. Everything in our universe is going to vibrate, including you, your mind, your body. And as we've been learning here, your mind controls the vibration you're in. You control your mind by the thoughts that you choose. See, no one is able to cause you to think something you're not willing to think about. And that is generally the problem most people experience. They allow the things that are happening in their environment to determine how they're going to think. The majority of our population wish for positive things to happen in their lives, but they're constantly thinking of all the problems in the world, all the negativity. These negative thoughts will put them in a negative vibration, which by law will determine what is attracted into their life. See, you are a creative being. You have the ability to attract good things into your life by thinking positive thoughts and expecting those thoughts to manifest. You are worthy of whatever success you desire. It is only your thinking that keeps you from it. Now, Napoleon Hill put it beautifully. He said, "Man alone has the power to transform his thoughts into physical reality. Man alone can dream and make his dreams come true." As we come to the conclusion of lesson number 1, I really want to encourage you to review it as often as you possibly can. I want you to become aware of the primary cause of the results you're seeing in life. You're going to find that the truth isn't always in the appearance of things. You're also going to find that your results are never caused by something outside of you. In fact, results are always caused by something going on inside of you. Your results are a physical or outward expression of the inner conditioning or paradigm in your subconscious mind. It's your behavior that's causing the results, and your conditioning is what's causing the behavior. So you must accept full responsibility for your results. And when you do take full responsibility, you will then be aware of how to make the necessary decisions to alter them. Believing this truth is always the start to an absolutely magnificent future. When you accept your subconscious conditioning as the cause of your results, you will then decide to alter the conditioning in your subconscious mind. Now, this is an interesting point. This conditioning can be both genetic and environmental. Now, it may be a little difficult to understand at this point, but your results are actually the product of someone else's habitual way of thinking. And we're going to be discussing more of that in the next lesson. Now, to make the necessary changes in this area, it's going to take time. You're going to need to be disciplined. You're going to have to spend a respectable amount of time studying this program. Now, trust me, if you're committed to change and willing to do what is necessary, you'll be able to live the life of your dreams. So spend time every morning, spend time every evening reviewing this video. Try to spend time throughout the day listening to the audio version. And most importantly, review your power guide often. Take time with the questions provided and really think carefully when answering. It's important to really internalize what you're learning here. Do this each and every day. You know what? You're going to be shocked at the change that happens in your life. I'm M Jenkins.